For the record, yes, I'm still going to do a Blackwing review. I'm not going to just blue ball y'all like that. This is a holiday special. The Dreadwing duo will continue next week. Now, on to the review. Welcome to Kit Catastrophe. My name is Kit, and today we'll be taking a look at Transformers Generations Fall of Cybertron Deluxe Class Jazz. This figure came out in 2012 as part of Wave 1 of the Deluxe assortment. Jazz, as always, turns into a white and blue sports car, this time of a fictitious Cybertronian model. The shapes and the colors are all on point for Jazz. Instead of his signature stripe detailing, the black is relegated to the rear of the car, which also features some splendid gunmetal gray paint on what I presume to be exhaust pipes, and a pleasant metallic blue stripe on the spoiler. The red is relegated to his rims, which all in all sport a very Tron-esque look, which is an aesthetic shared with other War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron land-based vehicle modes. Between the wheels, there's some more gunmetal gray paint on some of the mechanical detail, which the vehicle mode is absolutely slathered with. The worst part of this vehicle mode will have to be the rear, where there is an absolutely abhorrent gap with visible hands and feet. Disgraceful. Jazz comes with a blaster pistol cast in the same dark gray his tires are cast in. It looks alright and can peg into the roof of his vehicle mode, which honestly doesn't look all too great. Transformation is both fun and simple, deviating from the standard Autobot car transformation in a few choice ways. The arms unfurl themselves from the rear of the vehicle mode instead of coming down from under the front end, which is a nice change of pace. However, the legs simply fold down from the underside in a manner most rote and lazy. The feet are attached to faux wheels instead of being formed from a pair of actual wheels, which is disappointing. Sadly, this figure came from an era marked by a huge budget crunch, meaning function had to supersede form. Alas. Robot mode, however, looks pretty good, all things considered. Albeit the proportions are a little wonky, but it doesn't bother me too much. It's like Vangelis said, once you stop looking at Jazz as a weirdly proportioned robot man, and instead see him as a robot man wearing a big old bulletproof vest made of car parts, the robot mode becomes a lot more palatable. Sadly, that doesn't make the floating plank the head sits on as forgivable. At least the head sculpt itself is nice, even though its light piping is basically non-functional. Speaking of color, the robot mode could use a lot more of it, with many parts of the body, mainly the arms and thighs, looking pretty sparse. Posability is actually pretty good. I wouldn't say Jazz is missing any really important points of articulation besides a waist swivel, but that's due more to the transformation than the aforementioned budget crunch. The legs are probably the best part, looking nimble and lithe in damn near any pose you get him into. Jazz can wield the aforementioned gray blaster pistol in his hand, and it looks pretty good while he's holding it. Despite his problems and the fact that literally every aspect of his construction was out to get him from the outset, Fall of Cybertron Jazz still manages to be a good figure. Sure, he may be smaller and hollower than previous fare, but he still exudes a sense of quality that shouldn't be discounted. Sure, he may not be as good as what came before, or what has since come out, but he's not a bad Transformer by any means. This has been Kit Catastrophe. Have a happy Valentine's Day. I love you all. It's time for me to transform and roll out.